In this video, I'll be interpreting the dreams of a few of my subscribers, and then I'll give you a few practice dreams for you to interpret. Before you begin interpreting a dream, it's important that you give your dream a title. Titling your dream can help point to the main message or what's being said in the dream. So giving your dream a title can help you to interpret the dream better. It can help with bringing out the main point of the dream. So the first dream I'm going to interpret is coming from Sonia Silva. Hi, Sonia. And I titled the dream she left in the comments section, The Pink Umbrella. So here's the dream from Sonia. I was trying to get inside of a school when about 50 plus kids were coming out with the school principal. I wanted to get the black umbrella because it was raining. It was in the garden next to the school. A man came out of the school and gave me a pink umbrella. I can't remember if I ended up receiving the umbrella from him. Everyone in the dream was quite cheerful. So before I interpret this dream, we're going to look at some important elements of the dream, and that is important to do. You're going to look at the elements in your dream and what they could possibly mean. So, important elements in this dream is the school principal, the fact that it was raining, how Sonia mentioned the garden. She wanted to go and get the black umbrella from. That's an important element. And how a man gave her a pink umbrella. So these are important elements that stand out in the dream. Now, schools. Schools we know in real life are places where we learn, where we're educated. And so likewise, in a dream, a school would represent education or learning. It could represent learning in the natural or spiritual learning, growing and learning and increasing in knowledge and wisdom. Also, she mentions in the dream how a school principal came out of the school with the other students, and a principal in a school can represent a spiritual leader or a natural leader of a church or an organization, but also a school principal can represent a principle in that it could represent a fundamental truth that the dreamer is in need of. So it can represent that as well. She mentioned umbrellas, the black umbrella, the pink umbrella, and umbrellas in a dream would represent protection or coverage, a covering, or even a guarding against something. Rain was going on in the dream. Rain can have a positive or a negative meaning. In this particular dream, she was trying to cover and protect herself from the rain. So I would say it would have a negative meaning in this dream. And in the negative, rain can represent tests. It can represent trials that the dreamer is experiencing. She also mentioned a garden that was next to the school. So gardens in dreams can also represent a place of protection and safety. Also, a garden can represent spiritual growth in the life of the dreamer because things grow in a garden. So it could represent a time or a place where the dreamer is increasing or growing in the things of the spirit. Also, a garden can represent the heart, or what's going on in the heart of the dreamer. So here's the interpretation of the dream. So the dream shows you, Sonia, entering into a time of spiritual education. But during this time, you may encounter trials or tests that could cause you to negatively guard your heart. But it's God's desire to cover you with his love, peace, and joy, that pink umbrella. So, Sonia, the dream points to a season of learning and growing in the things of God. God teaching you specific things that you need to know for this season of your life in order that you will be successful in your life's purpose. That's a great dream. The second dream is coming from Grand Diva. Hi, Grand Diva. And so I entitled her dream, The Bridge. So here's Grand Diva's dream. I was together with other familiar people as we left a location. I was supposed to follow them as we all left our vehicles. They all went across a bridge, but instead of following them, I went in a different direction to cross another nearby bridge. Instead of driving, I was flying across the bridge at a fast speed. It was scary at first, and I kept thinking I would eventually fall into the water, but I kept thrusting myself forward. I realized at some point that I was dreaming, and I kept going. So let's look at the important elements of Grand Diva's dream. It mentions a bridge. It mentions that Grand Diva is with familiar people. It also mentions that she flies at some point in the dream. So let's break it down. Bridges, in real life, we know they get us from one place to another place. So in the dream, a bridge would represent a connection of some sort that gets you from one place to another place. It represents crossing over from one season in your life into the next season, or it can represent simply just a time of transition, moving from one area in your life to another area in your life. The dreamer mentions in the dream how she went in a different direction and crossed a different bridge from the people that she was with. Also, it mentions in the dream that she was flying across the bridge. And so, rather than driving, because they left their cars, it mentions at the beginning of the dream. So, always ask yourself, why this and not that? So why was she flying across the bridge as opposed to driving across or walking across the bridge? Why flying? So flying in a dream can represent soaring or going to new heights in the spirit. It can also represent seeing things from a higher perspective, getting a higher outlook on life as well. It also can be representative of spiritual freedom, being free in the spirit. And it mentions how she was flying at a fast rate as well. She also said that it was scary at first and that she thought she might fall, but she kept thrusting herself forward. She also realized that she was dreaming. Now, this, in fact, is what we would call a lucid dream, or the part of the dream where she realized she was dreaming was lucid. In other words, a lucid dream is where you realize that you are dreaming, because most of the time when we're dreaming, we don't know we're dreaming. We think everything that's happening in the dream is actually happening. We have no clue while we're asleep that we're actually dreaming. And so at this particular point, she realized that she was dreaming. And so the purpose of lucid dreams, knowing that you're dreaming, is to empower the dreamer, to empower you to make decisions in the dream and in your life that would line up with your destiny or your life's purpose. So in other words, lucid dreaming, God would use lucid dreaming to empower you to make the right decisions, not only in the dream, but in your life's destiny or in your life's journey. So, Grand Diva, here's the interpretation of your dream. So the dream shows you and those in your environment, mentions a particular group or a particular group of people that you're with, coming into a time of transition. But unlike the others, God is singling you out, Grand Diva, and he's taking you in a different direction that will cause you to soar to new heights in your life. Could be speaking of new spiritual heights or higher levels as far as a job or career or business is concerned. This transition will happen very quickly. It will happen so quickly that it may bring a fear of failing to you. But God is encouraging you that you have what it takes to keep pushing past your fears. You kept thrusting forward, moving forward, and to courageously continue on in faith. So this is a great dream, Grand Diva. God is encouraging you that you have what it takes to soar to new heights, to experiencing new things in the spirit or in your natural life. So don't be afraid. Go for it.